Hello everyone, will Chicago get back into the playoff hunt? That's exactly what we'll be talking about today. So before we start, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing. And now let's talk about Chicago. So the Blackhawks are a team that was dominant in the early 2010s and all the way through the mid-2010s, but have fallen off quite a bit in recent years. They've made a lot of interesting moves this offseason, though, and look to make it back to the postseason. Now, the first thing we're going to have to talk about here is their goaltending tandem and what they can or can't do. They've acquired the most recent Vezina winner, Marc-Andre Fleury, from Vegas in a great trade for them, and we'll have to see who will start in net for them to begin the campaign. They've got another, I think, promising goalie in Kevin Lankinen, who was pretty good for quite a while last year before running out of gas to end out the season. Lankinen has stated he wants to be the starter, and he has said in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. So there's going to be plenty of competition between these two, but I think it'll be healthy competition because Marc-Andre Fleury is not that type of guy, and I don't think Kevin Lankinen is either. However, I think it will be kind of curious to say who will be the starter in net. My bet is on Fleury just because he was, he won the Vezina. He's probably going to be that guy. I think it'll be a 1A, 1B type situation because of Fleury's age. But, he might see a spike in his numbers just because Chicago is not as dominant as Vegas is. But we're going to have to see. Regardless, I have huge expectations for this newly acquired player, considering his rap sheet and resume. In some of the seasons, he has just been really good. Now, another player Hawks fans have high hopes for is Seth Jones. Now, the D-man was acquired from the Blue Jackets in a huge trade, and after all it was said and done, the Blue Jackets gained a young blue liner, an additional first-round pick, and a second-rounder, as there's a lot of moving pieces in that deal, and the Blackhawks signed Jones to a massive 8-year, $76 million deal. And considering he hasn't played a game for the Hawks, it kind of was surprising to me, at least, just because that's a huge deal. Now, maybe he'll be worth it, maybe not, we'll have to see. But fans do seem to rank him as a top 5 at his position. So we're really just out on the limb here because you have some people that say he's great, other people that say he's overrated. I don't think that he is a terrible blue liner, but I do think that he is overrated. And maybe, though, let's just say that he is legitimately going to be that guy in Chicago. I think if they do that, he's going to have to be more focused on his offensive game. If he can pick that up, then Chicago is going to get the best out of him if he's able to have somebody that can fix up some of his defensive issues. Now, I think that he is exactly what they need in terms of a big-name player. I'm not a huge fan of the contract. I've said that before, but he will sell jerseys, and if they make a playoff push, fans will probably love him. So I do get that they're going to make that push to get in the playoffs, so they've got this blue liner that everybody, or at least traditional fans and more of the traditional media, love. So finally, we get to talk about the last topic, and that is a very interesting topic for me, as a couple of Hawks that were hurt last year are coming back from injuries, and I think they could be a major boost for the team going forward, that being centers Jonathan Tase and Kirby. Now, Tase missed all of last season because of an immune system thing. It was autoimmune. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he missed the whole year. And then Doc only played 18 games due to a wrist injury, and that sidelined him till late March, I believe, of last season. With Tase missing all of last year, I'm curious to see how he gets out. He jumps out of the gate, but he did play nearly 23 minutes the other night against Detroit in the preseason, so he did get some minutes, and the other two games, I believe he averaged about 17.5 minutes per game. And while I don't think that he is worth $10.5 million a year, he is still a very skilled offensive player that I would imagine would be their first-line center. Maybe he won't, but I would be really surprised if he wasn't playing first-line minutes for them, especially by the end of the campaign, as long as he was healthy. Regardless of what role he's in, though, he will be a big offensive boost for a team that lacked center depth last year and finished in the middle of the pack in terms of goals scored. As for Doc, he is the 3rd overall pick from 2019. And now's about the time that you'll start to see more people say, hey, we expect more out of you. This is not your first or second year. This is your third year. I know you were hurt last year, but we expect to see some big things out of you. I'm still hopeful for him and hope this is a breakout year, and I guess we'll have to see if that actually does happen. The team also acquired Tyler Johnson from Tampa Bay, and while his cap hit is higher than I would like for Chicago, maybe he can bounce back in the Windy City. And then you look at down the middle, you would have Tase and either Duck or Johnson as the 2 spot for the center position. If you get all 3 of them to produce, then you're going to be in a pretty good spot. Will they? I don't know, especially Johnson for his $5 million cap hit. We'll see, but if they could get that going, wow, down the middle, they'd look good. And that would be huge for this team, considering they faded to end the last season. As their last 9 games, they went 2-5-2 and were 6th in the division, where they finished 9 points back of Nashville. So, do I think, after all that was said, Chicago will be in the playoff hunt? I'm going to say yes. I do think they will be in the hunt. However, I am skeptical that they'll make the playoffs due to a variety of roster issues. And overall, I'm just not sold on the team just yet. That center thing, if it happens, that'll be great for them. If not, that'll be something that holds them back. The blue line, will see, obviously, scoring depth in general. Chicago's just one of those rosters that they have definitely got players that can make an impact, but will it be enough to make the playoffs? I'm going to say no for right now, but they will be in the thick of things, and at least I'd expect them to. And for them, I think the goal should be being in the thick of it towards the last week, whether they make it or not. Obviously, that's something that you would want to see happen, but they need to be in the thick of it with the money they spent. I believe they're right up to the cap. Now, do you think the Blackhawks will be in the thick of it for the playoff hunt this year? Let me know down below. Also, if you liked this video, then like this video and subscribe to join the Hockey Brigade. Everybody, stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.